What's going on, family? It's your boy, Mike Macklin, aka Money Mike, the financial Thanos, because I'm snapping my fingers and I'm turning your financial problems to dust. Hey, I want to welcome you guys to the beginning of the week. Before I get started too far, I want to first and foremost apologize to y'all because I know I am super late right now. I know y'all used to seeing me a lot earlier in the day, so my apologies for that. But I am here for you all on this wonderful, wonderful Money Monday. It's time to talk this money like we do every single Monday, like y'all done got used to, and I want to keep giving it to you. I'm having a great time with it. Hope you guys are as well. If this is your first time tuning in, first and foremost, please consider following my page and also subscribing here on YouTube. Also, if you enjoy the content, you enjoy what I'm doing, please, by all means, go on and hit that like button for me. I would definitely appreciate it. But without further ado, we gonna get right into this thing. We gonna get into the news. We gonna see what's going on. We'll see what's live. Before we do that, let me make sure technology is actually on my side today. Let's make sure you guys can see and hear me. And it looks like we are good to go. So we gonna get right into this thing. Let's actually get in here on this screen. Let's make this bad boy big so you guys can see this. And let's see what's going on in the news today. All right, so see how you can boost your social presence. Okay, that don't have nothing to do with what I'm trying to get into today. Let's see if we can find us a good money article. See if we can find us a good money article. Okay, that's an ad. Warren Buffett's 2010 advice on cash reserve is more relevant than ever. I don't want to talk about that right now. Want to retire early? Think again. Unless you're lucky enough to have a full pension and benefits. I don't know if I want to look at that. It seems like it's kind of negative. Let's see what else. That's advice. 12 steps to achieve financial freedom. Let's take a look at that one. Call me biased. Let's take a look at that one real quick. All right, let's see what this is talking about. 12 steps to financial freedom. All right, this was written actually a couple days ago. Quick 9-minute read. Let's see what's going on. Okay, so first and foremost, what is financial freedom? Ask a room full of people to define financial freedom, and you're likely to get a dozen different answers. For some, financial freedom means being able to pay the bills with money left over and have a fully funded emergency account. Others may want to retire early and travel extensively. That's me. Regardless of how you define financial freedom, everyone can benefit from taking a comprehensive approach to money management. It is important to think about your finances holistically, says Elizabeth Kozak, co-head of consumer lending at Marcus by Goldman Sachs. All right. The following 12 steps will help you achieve your vision for the future. The first one, commit to living within your means. The path to financial freedom begins with a step many people overlook. It starts by developing a mindset in which you prioritize building a strong financial foundation of savings before you move on to spending and investing. You'll never get ahead if you're always putting the cart before the horse. Okay? People need to analyze their beliefs about money and examine their relationship with it. Rather than assuming wealth is something attainable only by those with high incomes, recognize that even middle-class family can move from living paycheck to paycheck to a financially comfortable lifestyle so long as they spend less than they earn. Makes sense, okay? Know your current financial situation. Regardless of whether you are just out of college or getting ready to retire, it's essential to understand where you stand financially. Completing an honest assessment of your personal financial situation is a critical first step on the journey to establishing financial well-being. That means adding up debt, calculating expected income, and identifying holes in your financial picture, such as lack of insurance or emergency savings. The story continues here. It also says consulting with a professional may be helpful in this process, particularly if you have complex finances or are approaching retirement. I think everyone should have a financial advisor, says Wilson Kaufman. These professionals have experience and expertise that other individuals may not. What's more, they aren't emotionally invested in your money, which means their advice should be neutral and objective. It should be. I'm gonna talk a little bit about that in a second. Not down to financial advisors, but I have a little to say about that. Open the right accounts. There is no single account that is right for all your money. Cash for retirement should be placed in a tax-favored 401k or IRA account, while college savings are usually best kept in a 529 plan. Those with high deductible health insurance plans can open health savings accounts to pay for medical expenses. Meanwhile, you want your emergency fund separate from your other savings to avoid dipping into it unnecessarily. High yield savings accounts are usually offered by online institutions such as Marcus, by Goldman Sachs, and Discover Bank, and these can ensure money earns some interest. However, the most important consideration for emergency fund is that it is liquid and insulated from market losses. We're not interested in the rate of return with this account. And it makes sense. I'll talk on that a little bit here. Set up a deposit schedule. Okay. Once you have your account set up, create a system for ensuring they are fully funded. Many employers will direct deposit paychecks into multiple accounts, so you can divert a portion of your income to checking, regular savings, and your emergency fund. You can also contribute directly to your 401k through a payroll deduction. For other saving goals, you may be able to set up automatic, regular transfers from your bank account to other financial accounts. Financial experts often recommend saving 10% of your income for emergencies or other goals and another 10% for retirement. Okay? We're going to kind of speed this up here. You also want to monitor your credit. Makes sense. A person's credit score can determine whether they have access to loans and what interest rate they're going to receive. And also in some states, employers can review a job's applicant's credit history when making hiring decisions. It's important to keep a pulse on your finances. Federal law allows consumers to request a free copy of their report once each year using the website annualcreditreport.com. That's free game, y'all. So make sure y'all write this down. Annualcreditreport.com. You can actually get your 3 credit reports for free every single year. Also, during the pandemic, credit reporting companies Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion began voluntarily offering free weekly reports as well. Wow, I did not know that. Credit scores can be accessed for free through a variety of credit card issuers and finance websites such as Credit Sesame and Credit Karma. A lot of people use Credit Karma, so I'm sure y'all are familiar with that. Track your spending. I mean, that goes without saying. If you're currently living paycheck to paycheck, set aside money for emergency and retirement savings. It can kind of seem daunting. To find out exactly how much you can save, you first need to understand how much you spend. If you don't know where you're spending your money, it is very difficult to know where you have opportunity to make adjustments. Very true. Very, very true. Trim your budget. Now that you know what you're spending, it's time to trim wherever possible. That doesn't necessarily just mean cutting your morning latte or gym membership. Instead, people should think beyond the small expenses and consider major lifestyle changes to make a considerable change in their financial situation. Selling your house or buying a cheap used car may seem like a significant sacrifice. However, it can be worthwhile if it helps achieve your ultimate goal of lifelong financial independence. And I agree. Create a debt payoff plan. Very important. For most people, financial freedom means eliminating debt, myself included. But I'll talk more about that in a second. While it can be difficult to own a house without a mortgage, getting rid of credit card debt or even car loans can be more achievable. You can do a lot when you are debt-free, Kaufman says. It's easier if you start by focusing all your money, your extra money, on one debt while making minimum payments on the rest. From a mathematical standpoint, it may make the most sense to start with the debt charging the highest interest rate. However, some financial experts suggest paying off the debt with the smallest balance. Now, these two things are basically the two strategies known as the debt avalanche, which means paying the higher interest, or the debt snowball, which means just paying the lowest debt. Okay, build an adequate emergency fund. I think we've talked about that enough. Evaluate your career options. Long and short, I think this is essentially saying, hey, maybe look at your job and say, is this the best job? Maybe there's a way to earn some extra income. Um, let's see. Invest in the future. Again, I say that a lot. And prepare your legacy. I'm gonna read this one because this is important. This final step isn't so much about creating your own financial freedom as much as ensuring that of your heirs. So that means leaving it to the next generation. After a lifetime of managing money correctly, you don't want your money to end up in the pockets of relatives you didn't intend, or worse, Uncle Sam. Create a will, update the beneficiaries on financial accounts, and if your assets are considerable, talk to an attorney or a certified public accountant to discuss strategies to minimize estate taxes. Beyond that, regardless of your income, you'll want to maintain adequate life insurance to support your loved ones in the event you die unexpectedly. It's important that you continually update your financial and estate plans too. Throughout the years, your life will change and tax laws will change. Your financial plans need to change along with them. So basically, let's just run down the 12 steps one more time real quick for everybody. One, commit to living within your means. Basically, listen, you got to stop spending money you don't have. Know where you are, know what you can afford, and just keep it there. Two, know your current financial situation. Again, you got to know your financial lane. You got to know what you can actually afford. Um, Open the right accounts. Again, you want to get those investment accounts open. That way, you're deferring those taxes or eliminating them. You want those savings accounts open. If you got a high medical bills or something like that, you consider open up a health savings account as well. Set up a deposit schedule. Again, kind of have your money set up automatically. David Bach, who wrote the book The Automatic Millionaire, he talks a lot about how to allocate your money to automatically go to different accounts. Monitoring your credit. Credit is something that a lot of people kind of overlook in the money game, but you really, really want to understand. You gotta know where your credit is. If there's stuff that's wrong on there, get it fixed. And there's other things with your credit as well that you want to make sure that you're addressing and you got right. Because that credit, again, it can mean the difference of paying more on debt. Also, it can mean the difference between getting that job you want or not. So you definitely want to keep your eyes on that. Track your spending. Again, you got to know where your money's going. Once you know where your money's going, next you want to trim that budget. You want to get rid of things that you don't necessarily need to be buying, or like the thing said, maybe sell that bigger house, get yourself a smaller one for the time being, get your used car. And again, it's not about living like terrible. It's just about knowing what you can afford, and refocusing that money so you actually have some money to play with, to grow, do different things. Create a debt payoff plan. Very important to me. Now, you want to get rid of your bad debt. Now, there's going to be some debt that's actually useful for you, and that's when you start to, invest, or, you purchase items that the value is going to go up. And so basically it's going to be things that's putting your money in your pocket. So if you have to go into a little bit of debt to purchase maybe a piece of real estate, or purchase a expensive watch or something like that you could sell at a higher rate, that's completely fine. But understand what you're doing with it. Build an adequate emergency fund. You want to have, at least for the mini emergency fund, at least $1,000. And now for your major one, you want to have up to 6 to 12 months of expenses saved there. Let's see. Evaluate your career options. Maybe the job that you have is not paying enough. Maybe you need to get some more training, or maybe you need to get a side hustle in order to supplement that income and get yourself some extra money coming in so you can do some great things with it. Invest for your future. Again, investing is what I call buying your freedom. And finally, prepare your legacy. And a lot of people really don't pay this one any attention. You have to, guys and ladies, you have to prepare for the end. And I always tell people, you want to begin with the end in mind. So what that means is you want to have those things proactively in place, because the last thing you want is the government and the court systems basically allocating your money for you when you're gone, when it's very easy to go in and fix that yourself. So that's our first article. I thought that was pretty decent. It's kind of a rudimentary article, but you know it's always good to you see that information and get put up on that free game. Hopefully, you guys were taking notes. I got this off of Yahoo Finance, so you definitely can go and check this article out yourselves, and maybe take some additional notes. All right, so let's see what else we got. Let's see what other stories we have in here. All right, let's see. All right, nope, I don't want that retire early, think again thing. Nope, I want some good news. All right, no, we just talked about that one. Let's see. Okay, Biden signed $10 billion in mortgage help for homeowners. Do you qualify? I want to put out some good information, so let's see what's going on with this one. Let's see what's shaking with this one. Okay, so this was written on the 25th, and it's a 6-minute read. Okay, so I think this is a good one to cap us off at. All right, so, excuse me. Again, Biden signed a $10 billion in mortgage help for homeowners. I'm tripping. Don't laugh at me. Do you qualify? All right, let's find out about this. So, millions are still at risk of losing their homes as a result of the economic crisis fueled by the pandemic. More than 10 million U.S. homeowners are behind on their mortgage payments and are experiencing housing insecurity. If you're in that group and your debt is piling up, the White House set aside $10 billion in the recent COVID relief package to help Americans pay their housing costs. Efforts are underway to get the cash to people who need it most, though experts have warned that the rollout may take some time. Okay, so the $1.9 trillion pandemic rescue bill President Joe Biden signed last month, the law that has been doling out stimulus checks up to $1,400, also offers nearly $10 billion of direct financial assistance to help homeowners pay not only their mortgages, but also taxes, utilities, insurance, and homeowners association dues. Wow, okay. It's the first time Congress has included mortgage assistance in pandemic relief. Okay, in the wake of that victory, we are now working with members and state agencies to establish dedicated funds that offer additional solutions as customers exit forbearance. Okay. Homeowners have been able to pause their payments for as long as 18 months through the government's mortgage forbearance program. As that window closes, we want families to have the support and flexibility they need to stay in their homes and succeed long term. Okay, so the $10 billion in cash, formerly called the Homeowners Association Fund, will be distributed to states based on a formula that takes into account numbers of unemployed residents as well as data on late mortgage payments and foreclosures, says the National Council of State Housing Agencies. Let me go and click this now so I can get this. You're eligible for relief if you own your home and have a loan with a principal balance at or below the conforming loan limits set by Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, the government-sponsored mortgage giants that buy or guarantee most U.S. home loans. The 2021 limit in most parts of the U.S. is $548,250. Okay, so let me read that sentence again, just so you know everybody gets this. You're eligible for relief if you own your home and have a loan with a principal balance at or below the conforming loan limits. So right now that limit is $548,250. Okay, so basically if you own a home and the balance on the mortgage is $548,250 or below, it seems like you're eligible right now. So let's keep reading to see if there's anything else in here. Now, getting the money may take time. Big duh. The money will be funneled to borrowers through state housing agencies. At least 60% of the state grants must go to homeowners with incomes that don't exceed either the local median income or the national median income, whichever is higher. Russell Graves, executive director of the National Foundation for Debt Management, a multi-state housing counseling agency, says he doesn't expect the funds to be made available until early 2022. Okay. There are so many other things going through these agencies. Rental assistance, different kinds of a pandemic assistance, Graves said. Frankly, we have never put so much money toward housing in history. The numbers are staggering. Okay, so during the wait, forbearance will be key. Grave recommends that homeowners in need call their lenders or servicers, the companies that manage loans, and send out statements to discuss options, including beginning or extending forbearance. Forbearance allows you to postpone your mortgage payments without getting slammed with late fees or taking a hit to your credit score. Okay? Those with federally backed loans, some 70% of the U.S. mortgage population, have been able to apply for forbearance in the pandemic. The deferred payments are typically tacked onto the end of the mortgage term. Okay? The enrollment window for the forbearance was recently extended and now ends June 30th. Make sure y'all write that down. Okay? The current period for enrollment into this program ends June 30th. So if you guys have kind of been struggling, make sure you're looking into this, and let's get this done before this cutoff. Now, if you're in the remaining 30%, you don't have the same flexibility, Graves says. He suggests calling a housing counseling agency approved by the Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD. Congress has provided $100 million so those agencies can assist homeowners. Okay, so essentially what this is sounding like to me is that if you have like these government loans, which most people do, then you're kind of in that forbearance window. Now, if you just got a conventional loan, and I could be wrong, so in the comments, correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm saying this wrong. But it sounds like if you got a conventional mortgage, then you're basically going to have to go through the HUD. And if you have a like VA or USDA or FHA, which are government-backed funds, then you actually have that enrollment window of June 30th. All right. Refinancing may be your friend. Another possible remedy for overwhelming housing expenses is to refinance your mortgage, if you haven't already done that. Mortgage rates recently fell below 3% for the first time in months. The mortgage technology and data provider Black Knight said last week that over 13 million homeowners were still in a good position to refinance and cut their mortgage payment by an average $283 a month. Okay, it's not bad. The company says that the best refi candidates hold 30-year mortgages, have at least 20% equity in their homes, and are current on their payments. They also should have a credit score of 720 or better and be able to shave at least 3/4 of a point off their mortgage rate by refinancing. Okay, but you need to determine whether you're likely to stay in the home long enough for the savings to more than pay off. Okay, makes sense. If the math doesn't work, forbearance and homeowners assistance fund money may provide the relief you need. Hopes for a smooth mortgage aid process. See how much more it is. Okay, so we don't have much more here. Okay, so hopes for a smooth mortgage aid process. Graves says the closest example to the new mortgage aid program was an Obama era created in response to the Great Recession. The Hardest Hit Fund was designed to assist the states hit hardest by the subprime lending crisis. At that time, federal government also distributed the funds through each state's housing agency, but there were challenges. It was done by the states it fits and starts. There were a lot of states that got a very slow start and tripped over themselves because this was new, Gray said. He hopes the rollout will be smoother this time. Since this is similar, there should be some institutional knowledge in each of these state housing financial agencies so they can take their original programs and tweak them to match the current environment. Okay, so what if you need help immediately? This is a good one. This is a good thing. If your housing expenses are piling up and squeezing your budget, there are a few ways you can give yourself some financial breathing room right now, long before any aid comes your way. If you've been using credit cards for most of your purchases during the pandemic and are watching the interest charges escalate, you could replace those pricey balances with a single debt consolidation loan at a lower interest rate. Okay? Or try reducing your homeowner's insurance premium by shopping around for a better deal when your policy comes up for renewal. The same comparison shopping approaches works well for getting a better price on car insurance. You could also make a little extra money through a method that's fairly effortless. A popular app helps you earn returns in the record-shattering stock market merely by investing your spare change. Okay. All right. So, pretty interesting stuff. Pretty interesting stuff here. Sounds like a pretty decent program. It's definitely going to be something worth looking at, especially, you know, for folks that have been in forbearance for a while. You definitely want to kind of look at these different options here. Now, I'm going to say this about the whole refinancing thing. You want to make sure that, you know, you're not setting yourself too far back with this. Because a lot of times refinancing your home kind of puts you in this never-ending loop of never actually paying off your mortgage. A lot of people, I actually was a mortgage loan originator for about 6 to 12 months before getting out of the military. And I got to tell you, you know, a lot of times, you know, people, I mean, I talked to people who were like really old, like 70, 80 years old. I think one guy was like, the oldest guy I had talked to was like in his 80s. And they were talking about refinancing for 30 years. That's crazy. You're never going to pay that debt off. You're never going to pay that debt off. So you want to avoid refinancing constantly unless you have a strategy. And I'm not going to get too deep in that today, but I really wanted to talk about that portion because I want to caution you against refinancing if it doesn't make good sense. You know, if you're just trying to save some money in the long term, the short term it might be okay, but the long term that might not be the best move. So I definitely want to caution you against that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is my time. That is it for today. This has been Money Mondays with Money Mike. So today we talked about the 12 steps to financial freedom, as well as this $10 billion program in place now to help homeowners. I hope you guys found this information useful. If so, please hit that like button and also share this with somebody. Also, if you know of any other programs or of any other information that can help the people, please leave it down in the comments box and we'll definitely talk about that on the next show. Or if there's other stories that you may have seen that you want me to talk about, hey, go and send me an instant message, send me the story, and I'll definitely, you know, give you guys my take on that. I appreciate all the love, all the support, all the likes that you guys are hitting. And as always, I love you. God loves you. He smiles when he sees you. And he sees you all the time, so he's always smiling. So why aren't we? Hey, you guys have a fantastic day. And hey, if you are looking for some personal financial assistance, I want to encourage you guys to go to my website, www.moneymike313.com. I'll leave that down in the comments. Check that site out. Book yourself a free 30-minute consultation with me. We'll talk about your situation, how we can help you. And let's get you on the right side of the money, guys and ladies. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you check out that site. Make sure you hit that like button and share. Until the next one, guys, y'all take care of yourselves. Gone.
Damn, I ain't been broke in a minute.